Having covered 504 kilometers and 23 special stages, the teams settled into the hotels for a hard-earned rest, firmly convinced that Sarah van der Merwe, barring an accident, was not going to be overtaken. Best performance of the day amongst many was that of Johan Evertse and Jan Crick in Class E in 4th place overall, but closely watched by the two Corollas of Klaver and Sanders. The competitors were off early at 4 a.m., as were our camera crews, to get to Mhlome in the northern part of Swaziland before first light and stage 28. First casualty of the early morning was Dickie Klaver. After winning stage 25, a front wheel bearing seized, putting him out of the rally in stage 26. Still in a comfortable third place, the big skyline of Kasikutsia. The leaders of Class F, Ben and Isabel van der Westhuizen in the Corolla number 24. Rain Peters and Gerard Kotze in their Corolla TRD were just 4 minutes behind car 24. And a good time on this 22-kilometer stage would keep the pressure on the leader, Ben van der Westhuizen, in Class F. And then, disaster. The wheels on the left-hand side of the car were firmly lodged in the canal.
Ons het gery en het was 'n skerp regterhand se draai gewees. Ek was 'n bietjie vinnig vir die draai en ek het die kar in gras opgestel waar 'n sloot in was en toe val ons in die sloot in. Ongelukkig. So dit kos ons nou 'n tweede plek in die klas seker. Baie jammer. Ons gaan nou maar net probeer klammer.
Sadly, it did cost Peter second place in Class F. He also broke his finger attempting to jack the car out of the ditch. Meanwhile, Cook and Chadwick in their Golf GTI shot through behind them. Tony Ball and Martin Butter were also not having it all their own way.
Yes, we have a little problem. I'm Afrikaans speaking and Tony is English speaking, so every now and then I slip an Afrikaans word in there and he says, what? We have what is known as a sonic intercom system with headphones and microphone built into the helmet. So with the noise inside the car, it's quite clear to hear what the other person says.
Tony Ball continued to slide through the next 10.5-kilometer stage. Even though they were the only car still running in Class C, they still remained extremely competitive. Stage 30, near Simunya in the northeast of Swaziland, was another tricky stage through the cane fields, with canals running dangerously close to the side of the roads. At this stage, 15 cars of the 56 starters were still in the rally. 7 of these were privateers, competitors who did not receive more than 5,000 rand a year, either in cash or kind from a manufacturer. In 4th place for the privateer award was car number 44, the Nissan Stanza of Eddie Ruiz and Julie Hull. Rain Peters, in the Corolla TRD, now driving with an extremely painful broken finger, was now under pressure from Carlo Andreatta and Ivor Viet in their Alfa Romeo GTB6, who were the only team left in Class D. With 5 stages left, the rally moved southeast to Big Bend for stage 32, where a rather interesting river crossing awaited the teams. Having already lost 5 minutes through the water on stage 7 2 nights ago, Jan Habig and Paul Rilliard, in 2nd place for the Privateer Award, couldn't afford to lose any minutes in the river. Oh, dear. not much time was lost. In contrast, Mortimer and Woodhead were enjoying the last leg of the rally, although they'd been very wary of the sugarcane stages earlier that morning.
Those are always rougher than they look, you know. The roads are wet and they fill them up with rubble and fill and rock and stuff to try and make a decent road surface. And the stuff is very sharp and you have to be careful that you don't collect fractured sidewalls on tyres and things like that. And the corners are very tight, all sort of 90 degrees left, right. And some of the faster roads next to the canals are pretty slippery and you want to be careful, otherwise you end up in a canal or something like that, which has happened to lots of people before me. But otherwise we're just sort of pacing our way to the finish really now. And hopefully we'll arrive there intact.
Mortimer and Woodhead won this 22-kilometre stage in just under 13 minutes, bringing the total number of stages they took to 11. Sarl, having won 18, was still comfortably in first place overall. Martin Buerter didn't have a happy river crossing at all. Once stuck, Martin Buerter checked under the bonnet, and then luck took over. Forgot to secure the bonnet. Lying third for the Privateer Award and second in Class F were Bossie Bosman and Thilo van Westenhagen in their Nissan 140Z. They had also benefited from Rain Peter's mishap on stage 28, where he'd lost 30 minutes. Alfa Romeo GTB6 of Carlo Andreatta and Ivor Veet went very well, and they were rewarded with a win in Class D and 12th position overall. The leading privateer was car number 23, driven by Des Williams and Fruk de Klerk, who were in 8th position overall. 3 stages later, their differential jammed and put them out of the rally. So close to the finish and the award.
Now the pants are all right. They'll just make it to the end.
A change of tyres for Jet Mortimer, who won stage 35 by 1 second from Sarah van der Merwe in a time of 19 minutes. The stage, south of Manzini, was 33 kilometres long. Time allowed 22 minutes at an average speed of 90 kilometres an hour. Jan Habig, with a slightly modified bonnet, was now leading the privateer class, but lost time on the stage, finishing in 27 minutes. Kasi Kutsia, who's only done rallying and not ventured into other forms of motor racing, certainly handled the big skyline with ease and had Wiley Harrington to thank for fast and clear instructions. They had led Class B since the first night of the rally and well-deserved third place overall. In close attendance was the air rescue helicopter of the National Road Safety Council, which was very well equipped and staffed to deal with any emergency. Only 2 stages left, and Sarl was pleased with their performance.
Well, it's been fairly uneventful for me. I think should we win this rally, it will most probably have happened in the very first night. I decided to go fairly quickly from the start and try and open a gap, which we did. And from then on, it's been a case of actually trying just to maintain my lead and not break anything and not hit any cars in very good condition at this point in time. And we've had very little to do, really.
With 18 stage wins, a number of second places, and a 6-minute lead, Van der Merwe and Boshoff were content to let Jeff Mortimer and Spotty Woodhead win this 14-kilometre stage in 9.5 minutes. But as fate would have it, the Quattro was not going to have a trouble-free rally altogether. Halfway through the stage, the left rear tyre gave notice of impending trouble. With the rubber breaking off, Van der Merwe was not about to stop and find out what the problem was, and completed the stage 51 seconds behind Mortimer.
Would you like to tell us what happened?
I don't really know where it happened. That is a wheel that I thought was going flat.
The final 3.5-kilometre stage before the finish. And having won 15 stages this far, Mortimer and Woodhead in second place overall were not about to do anything foolish. Mortimer won this event in 1974 and collected 3/3 in 1977, 78 and the last in 83 with Spotty Woodhead, who had won the South African Navigators Championship in 1975. They rounded off this year's event by winning the last stage in 2 minutes and 25 seconds, a second ahead of Van der Merwe and Boshoff. This confirmed the second place overall and second position in Class A behind Van der Merwe. The end of 37 special stages for Jeff Mortimer and Spotty Woodhead, and our gun camera. The service crew of Sanders and Hodgson had put in a tremendous amount of work to keep their Corolla in the rally, and were well rewarded with 6th place overall. 788 kilometres of special stages had been covered by the 14 classified finishers, 6 of which were privateers. This was Sarah van der Merwe.